Now the outside of your house is going to be stone, as are all the houses around here in this part of the very north edge of the Cotswolds. It's the local ironstone, right?
Yeah, predominantly it's stone. There's a little bit of Corten, so rusted metal as well.
Which will go really well with this, because this has got loads of iron in it, hasn't it?
This is
and
the joy. This is where it came from.
Iron oxides.
This is where it came from. It's for a number of reasons. You can see that is a seam of iron oxide. That is
rust.
Is
the iron oxide,
That is rust. And this whole area in the viaduct, which is what's inspired the design of the house with these piers, the viaduct was basically there because of the iron ore. They used to smelt iron ore in this village. There was 3 smelters at one stage, a narrow gauge railway track. The whole of that hill over there was cut off.
Amazing.
And
so
cooked down for iron until just after the Second World War. So the outside is stone. The back wall, if you like, is supposed to look a bit like a dry stone wall. I mean, it won't actually be a dry stone wall, but it will look a bit like it. The piers themselves will be slightly different. They're slightly more cut. They're slightly more mannered. They're slightly more controlled, because we're trying to sort of think about the piers of the viaduct just over there. Mm-hmm. So we've got 2 stone panels, neither of which are right yet, okay? But this is the process, you know, you do a test and you work it out. This is a sample of what we think we're going to do for the pier stones, but at the moment, the joints are too wide. So these are, in order to make this, they get huge blocks of stone, they cut it into beds, and then they cleave the front to get this nice finish. But
I've got to say, it looks old.
Yeah.
Straight away. The joy of this material, if you want a house that's got character and warmth and immediately sits in its landscape, it's a great stone.
It is a great stone, because you've got all these lovely flecks. At the moment, there's one quarry that gets this stuff out of the ground, which means you're slightly beholden to them on price. But it also means that the quality of the stone sort of changes. So at the moment, there's a lot of grey in it. Yeah. And that will change, you know, and there's a lot of iron ore in it, and there's a lot of grey, which gives it a lovely texture. So
depends where they're cutting.
Great. It's a great time to be. Exactly.
So you've got to also have to buy all your stone at once, presumably,
Roughly.
and then mix it up. Otherwise, you could get terrible banding.
So this will be the piers, and actually we're going to get these joints even tighter. Yeah. And the way we can do that is because the whole thing will be attached back to a structure behind with these very narrow ties onto this stuff, which is called shore cav. It allows you to fully fill the back of the muck behind the stone, and it keeps a ventilated, dry section against your building. So we're going to have timber behind this in the final construction, then this, and then the stone, and we'll fill the back here with muck, with cement, and then we can have paper thin joints through the front here.
Without this product, traditionally you would have to put another backing block.
Yep.
And so you were building effectively an extra wall you didn't need, and
exactly.
This product hopefully is a lot less expensive than a backing block.
Yep. It's probably half the price to get it up and in and to build a backing block at least.
So
but it's also
big,
the build-up.
Big saving. Yeah.
You save another 75 mil, so you don't have to build
Your
foundations. So you don't.
thickness.
Everything keeps down. At the moment, the stone is good. Local quarry. The quarry is about 5 miles away.
It's really a local product, isn't it?
Yeah. The stone is cut in the village, the other side of the village. Rob cuts the stone for me. Rob Good, really good stone. But at the moment, we need a different mortar. This is too gritty, so it's making the
joints
gap
wider than you need.
So
you
that's,
need
that's
a very,
the
very
piers.
fine.
Very fine, either a lime or very, very soft sand.
This one?
This is a sample of the dry stone, or the dry stone type wall, or the field wall. Let's call it the field wall. So the back wall of the house that will face onto the common and face onto this side of the land, if you like. This is wrong because it's pointed. We did a sample. I wanted to look at it with a pointing just to see how that worked. It feels too housey, and it should feel like a wall. So we are going to go back to an open joint. So the dry stony looking wall will end up with a joint about this big, we think, and the piers will end up with an even finer
tighter penny joint.
This is what we're working with. This is the stone that we're going to build from. And the other thing is that's very flat fronted, that wall, and I want it to have more depth to it. But it's about trying to persuade the stonemasons
not to make it
perfect, to make it wonky.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's always tricky.
You know, these are the sample panels that we're still working on for planning, but more importantly, to be honest with you, to get them right. It's all preparation, and you know, again, how do you keep it affordable? Stonework is incredibly expensive. It costs about £65 a square metre for that.
Just for the stone, or
£75 just for the stone.
Just for the stone.
And then you've got to probably add at least that again to lay it, if not
so
150
150
square metre of stone finished.
And that's not including a backing block or anything.
That's just the face. Now I have got 22 bags, which is probably about 24 tons, so about 60 square metres, let's say, of reclaimed stone, which we could use. but it's going to take probably twice to 3 times as long to lay.
So what you thought was a saving may end up becoming a cost.
So then what I'm looking into doing is swapping the reclaimed stone with the stone guy for this stone.
Who will then crop that down?
He'll sell it to someone who's
really
prepared to spend the time.
Because they want a reclaimed look. It is a beautiful product though, and if
Yeah, I love
anything
it.
is going to make this house sit into the landscape,
It's this.
it's the colours, are the colours you see around you, the ground, and of the houses around us as well. I think it's worth that money.
At the moment it's a big concrete box and it looks big. And what's interesting is it's actually going to get slightly bigger with the insulation and stone, but it will shrink. So it's going to do that wonderful sort of thing of getting bigger, but just disappearing with the right textures. I think that building will just almost vanish. That's the plan.